Here stands Artemis, the Olympic Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, and the moon. The twin sister to sun god Apollo, she is bringer of light, ruler of mountains, and protector of women in childbirth. Artemis seeks to birth a new mission for the first female and another male to the lunar surface for sustainable exploration. In other words, a long time. And then, with the help of her close friend Orion, Artemis aims for deep space, all the way to Mars. Orion's faithful dogs Canis Major and Canis Minor go on the hunt in the winter months, growing ever closer to the red planet, guiding Artemis and Orion to their target. What a team! What a feat! Our heroes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up. Yo, Orion! Your dogs, please? Thank you. Look, man, that's a nice story and all, but that's not how it works.
Pardon me?
You want to talk about heroes, you need to get down to Earth and talk to the people at NASA. They're the ones making this awesome mission happen. I'm just the really cool goddess for whom they named it.
You go, girl. Meanwhile, back on Earth.
Artemis! How cool! Minerva?
Hello, Kim. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. Can you please tell me all about NASA's Artemis mission?
My goodness, that's a large topic, but I will start with this. Through the Artemis program, NASA plans to land the first woman and next man on the moon to explore more of the lunar surface than ever before, establish sustainable lunar exploration, then use what they learned to take the next giant leap, sending astronauts to Mars. They have already sent 4 robotic rovers to Mars, and a 5th, named Perseverance, is currently on the way. It is due to arrive at Mars on February 18, 2021, along with the helicopter drone named Ingenuity, attached to its belly. But next, they're hoping to send humans.
Wow! So it really is happening. Wait a minute. You're not pulling my leg, are you?
Pulling my leg. That would be a force or pull acting on an object or your leg. No, I am not pulling your leg.
No, sorry. It just means when someone is kidding.
Kidding is the active birthing process of goats. Kids are baby goats. They like to jump around and are very cute. Just look how cute. Ah.
No, Minerva, that's not what it... I mean, yes, they are really cute, actually. But no, that's not what it's... Can we just go back to Artemis, please?
Certainly.
We will go forward to the moon. Explore moon to Mars. We will land our astronauts on the moon within the next decade and learn to live away from Earth. We're going to the moon to stay, and then we will explore farther. Explore NASA.
Whoa, what a cool trip. Ooh, what a long trip. I gotta pack a suitcase. I'm gonna pack a lot of stuff. Minerva, what should I pack to go to the moon and Mars?
I'm not sure. Let me check. Oh, I found this for you.
Perfect. Can you connect me to someone with NASA, please?
Certainly, but just know, if you go to the moon and Mars, I will really miss you. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo.
That's so sweet. I didn't know you could feel human emotions. I'm really touched.
Don't be. I'm just pulling your leg. Ha, 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 ha.
Oh, ha, ha. I see what you did there. Very clever.
Thank you. Now, beginning transmission to NASA Information Portal. Hello, and welcome to NASA. My name is Galexie. I understand you are looking for information on our Artemis program, correct?
Cool. You're a robot?
Is that a problem?
Oh, no. It's just that I've never interacted with a real robot before. Huh! You're so cool.
Actually, my internal reading is a satisfactory room temperature, but if by cool you mean awesome, then yes, I totally am. Now, what would you like to know about Artemis?
Well, going to the moon and then to Mars sounds really awesome. So I'd like to know how to prepare for it, especially what to pack.
Oh, are you...
I mean, that's a really long trip, right?
Well, yes, it could last for up to a year. However...
Go to the moon for a whole year? Whoa! I gotta pack a lot of stuff to keep busy and have fun.
There will be some leisure time.
I got it! We could go to the swimming pool, and then to the beach. Then we can collect moon seashells, and then we can feed the moon seagulls. Then we can play in the moon ocean waves, and then we can build sand castles. Then we could...
I'm sorry, that is not possible.
What?
There are no swimming pools on the moon.
Oh, man.
There is also no ocean on the moon. The moon doesn't have a thick atmosphere with air like Earth's, so its surface is surrounded by the vacuum of space, because water cannot exist in a vacuum.
Well, can we at least build sand castles? It looks like the moon is covered in sand.
The moon's surface is actually covered in regolith. Lunar regolith is a mixture of powdery dust and broken rock. It was formed by the impact of meteorites on the surface for billions of years. It would be very difficult to create sand castles with lunar regolith, since it is very dry and not cohesive. And the moon has no atmosphere or oxygen needed to breathe, because it has very little gravity to hold gases in. The oxygen just escapes into outer space. That means there is no life on the moon, so no seagulls.
No life? What about small life, like squirrels or mice?
As I said, no life, so therefore no squirrels or mice.
Well, how about bugs? Certainly there are bugs on the moon.
Nope, no bugs.
What about beetles?
Nope.
Or spiders?
No.
Or teeny,
Nope.
weeny,
Nope.
itty bitty, little...
No. I said no. Sorry.
Wait a minute. If there's no life on the moon, then who keeps leaving those footprints? Hasn't the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter thingy that goes around the moon been sending pictures of footprints? Oh my gosh! Aliens! Although, that one is pretty cute.
The footprints belong to the 12 astronauts that walked on the moon between 1969 and 1972.
1969? Wow! That's like over 50 years ago. How can footprints in loose dust last for over 50 years?
Because unlike Earth, the moon does not have an atmosphere, and therefore no weather. There's no wind to blow the footprint away, or rain to wash the footprint away. So we will continue to see the same footprints on the moon for many, many, many years to come.
That is so weird. We can make dust angels! Woohoo!
Human, please stop running around and tune in your auditory function. I'm sending you many sound waves of information, but you're not listening.
Sorry, I'm listening now.
Rolling around in the regolith may damage the seams of your spacesuit, so you should avoid that. Also, this will be the first time in 50 years that NASA has landed people back on the moon, and it will be in the South Pole region where humans have not yet been. That area contains water ice. If melted to a liquid state, the water could possibly be used to drink, and we could extract the hydrogen from it for rocket fuel. This could be tremendously beneficial for sustained exploration on the lunar surface, and for eventually sending astronauts on to Mars. So, there is not much time for leisure activities.
That's amazing. How did they know there's ice on the moon if they haven't even been to the moon's South Pole yet?
They bombed it.
What? They bombed the moon?
Well, metaphorically. Using their Lunar Crater Observation and Sensing Satellite, NASA scientists watched as the rocket stage, used to push the spacecraft away from Earth, slammed into the moon's South Pole. That impact blasted a bunch of moon ice into space. Scientists have been studying data from the satellite impact and from their Moon Mineralogy Mapper, or M3, for over a decade. Then, in 2018, one analysis found that the M3 may have detected exposed ice in some of the dark polar craters.
That's incredible. Hey, maybe we should pack ice skates. We can go ice skating first, then we can collect the ice to melt it for water and fuel.
Human, there won't be enough room for all these items you insist on bringing. All matter has mass and takes up space. You are only allowed a limited number of items that fit inside a personal preference kit that's about the size of a shoebox. Astronauts that travel on the Russian Soyuz to get to the ISS can only carry 20 small items that have a total weight of around 2 pounds. The space shuttle was even more restricted, but astronaut Mike Massimino took something small and light enough, his spacesuit-clad Snoopy he had as a kid.
Aww.
Also, astronauts can't move very fast, much less ice skate, because of the stiff and heavy spacesuits. Think of a spacesuit as your own spacecraft that you wear. In outer space, the spacesuit must keep them protected. It has to provide oxygen to breathe, create a pressurized atmosphere to keep the body functioning, shield the body from harmful radiation, and protect the body from the extreme temperatures. On the moon's surface, temperatures can get as hot as 250 degrees Fahrenheit or as cold as 250 degrees below zero.
Good grief, why? because a moon has no atmosphere with molecules to reflect or absorb heat from the sun's rays to keep the surface temperature regulated. The temperatures in the bottom of those deep craters can get as cold as 413 degrees below zero. Oh, no wonder you have to wear all that protection. Ugh. Precisely. And even though the newly designed XEMU spacesuit for Artemis missions has major improvements in mobility, it will still be difficult to maneuver. To give you an idea of just how hard it is to move in a spacesuit, check out this footage from NASA's previous moon trips.
Hold on tight! This is gonna be a bumpy ride!
Okay.
Hey, that's funny, but I see what you mean. That must be exhausting. Please tell me they have time to rest. Where would they go to get some sleep? Back on the rocket ship? Well, most of the rocket ship will only be used for thrusting the crew capsule Orion into space. This Space Launch System, or SLS rocket, is huge. Standing at 322 feet, it's taller than the Statue of Liberty. You're right, that really is huge. SLS is the only rocket that can send the Orion, astronauts, and large cargo to the moon on a single mission. The rocket will provide the power to help Orion reach a speed of at least 24,500 miles per hour, needed to break out of low Earth orbit and travel to the moon. Hey, that's a lot like Artemis shooting her arrow to the moon. Sort of. Artemis, do you want to take this?
I would love to. One thing that the rocket and I both have in common is stored chemical potential energy. You see this SLS rocket core stage? It is the world's tallest and most powerful rocket stage. It contains huge tanks of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen for fuel, which has potential energy stored in its chemical bonds. Chemical potential energy. The core stage is powered by 4 RS-25 engines and the addition of 2 solid rocket boosters, which also have potential energy stored in chemical bonds. Now, you and I have chemical potential energy stored in our muscles. We get that energy from the food we eat. So, how does all this chemical potential energy get transformed into kinetic energy, or the energy of motion? Well, the rocket uses fuel combustion, or burning, to transform the chemical potential energy into kinetic energy as it rockets to space. And that's not all. Once the rocket enters space, the core and rocket boosters fall away. So the Orion capsule, which contains the crew, needs additional kinetic energy to be provided by yet another rocket stage, called the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, in order to complete the nearly 250,000-mile trip from Earth to lunar orbit. That's pretty impressive, but let's talk about me. My body uses metabolism to release chemical potential energy and generates ATP. ATP is an organic compound which drives muscle contractions. I need these contractions to pull back the bowstring. My muscle's potential energy transfers to the string and the bow limbs. Once I release the string, the potential energy transforms into kinetic energy, pushing the arrow through the sky. Now, my arrow can go a long way, but it can't go to the moon by itself. It would need a rocket to get there.
Thank you, Artemis. You've been very helpful.
Well, I am a goddess.
By the way, did you know that even when the astronauts are resting, they still have a form of energy called mass rest potential energy? Oh, So that means all you kids sitting down watching us right now actually have some potential energy. Aren't you awesome? So after a long, hard day working on the moon's surface, can the astronauts just climb back into the Orion capsule to get a break?
No, they can't. The Orion won't go directly to the moon's surface. It will dock at the lunar gateway, which will continually orbit around the moon and serve as the habitation module. From there, astronauts can take lunar landers to the surface.
Did you say habitation module? You mean like a floating hotel? I love hotels because you can lie in bed and watch TV, and you can get those little tiny shampoos and bars of soap in the shower. And sometimes you can go downstairs for a free breakfast and they give some hot coffee or eggs and bacon and a bagel. And there's even a bagel so you can slice it before toasting and you can put butter and jam all over it. It's so much fun.
It is not like a hotel. There is no bed, shower, or bagel slicer.
No bed or shower? Well, how do you sleep? How do you keep clean?
It's similar to the International Space Station, or ISS, although smaller. It contains a temporary home and office for astronaut expeditions to the moon. You will most likely sleep in a sleeping bag that's anchored upright into a small closet-sized area. This would be your personal space for privacy. If you sleep in a larger area, you just have to anchor your sleeping bag to something so you don't float around and bump into things or other crew members. Astronauts will wipe themselves clean by using a cloth, soap, and very little water. They will also use shampoo that does not need to be rinsed. In space, there's no access to fresh water, and only a small amount of water is brought from Earth because bringing enough for the whole trip would be too heavy.
So I'm guessing there's no indoor swimming pool?
Certainly not.
Right, of course. I was just, never mind.
Since all of the water they would need adds too much weight, the water must be recycled from astronauts' sweat, breath, and urine. That water is then purified and reused.
Hold on. They reuse the recycled water from their urine?
Don't worry, it goes through a stringent purification process. The recycled water they drink is even cleaner than some of the water we drink here on Earth.
Let's move on. What about clothing? What clothes should I pack for the gateway? Should I bring my winter wardrobe or my summer wardrobe or maybe something in between and a light sweater?
I would stick to one pair of sneakers for exercising and...
Oh, wow! You can exercise?
Of course. They have a stationary bike, a treadmill, and strength training equipment. When existing in less gravity, astronauts lose bone density and muscle mass, so it's very important to stay in good shape. Also, you should pack a few t-shirts, pants, and shorts for comfort while exercising and while working in and out of your spacesuits.
Hold on. Spacesuits? So there's more than one spacesuit?
Yes. The new XEMU is for wearing outside the spaceship, such as the exterior spacewalk for station repairs or on the moon's surface and eventually Mars. But there will also be an OCSS suit, or Orion Crew Survival System suit, which will be worn during travel to and from the destinations. This suit has a pressurized shell designed to help an astronaut survive if an accident occurred during liftoff or landing.
Woo! Just look at that bright orange.
There's a reason they chose this color. Should the astronauts go off course while landing on the moon or back on Earth, the orange makes it much easier to spot them on land or in the ocean.
Arr! Avast ye mateys! There be irons in the water! Astronauts ahoy! Hoist ye sails! Arr! Well, what a smart idea. So, okay, once the Orion docks at the Gateway Hotel, sorry, I meant Gateway Habitation Module. So they get out of their travel spacesuits, and then that's where the comfortable clothes come in. Got it. You know, they must be really hungry after all that traveling. What restaurants does the Gateway have? I mean, shouldn't I bring just one nice outfit for the fancy restaurant?
Human, there are certainly no restaurants. And you don't want to bring any nice clothes because the dirty clothes are thrown out with the waste and burn up in the atmosphere during re-entry.
What? Okay, forget the fancy clothes. But no restaurants? Excuse me. Thinking about it made me really hungry. I should get a lot of soda and snacks to pack for the moon.
I'm sorry, those items are not recommended for consumption in space.
Oh, for Pluto's sake, why not?
Sodas are not suitable due to microgravity. The carbonation in sodas is too much gas for the human stomach to handle. It produces very wet burps and can cause liquid to shoot out of the mouth like a water pistol.
Ew, gross. Please excuse me.
Also, most chips, crackers, and cookies are too crumbly. With low gravity, crumbs float and could get sucked up into the recycled air vents and clog the system of your spacecraft. Or they could get stuck in astronauts' eyes and lungs.
Wow, that would be bad. But what about freeze-dried ice cream? I thought they always brought that into space.
Actually, it was only brought into space once. They discovered that it too was crumbly.
Good grief. Oh no, please tell me they still don't eat that food that you squeeze out of a tube. Jellied beef paste just doesn't sound appetizing. Whoa. Oh. Huh. Yeah, welcome to Dwarf Planet. Dinah, what can I get ya? What are your specials today? Sure. We got your pulverized turkey and mashed potatoes in a tube. We've got congealed liver and onions in a tube. We've got a side of strained peas, also in a tube. And then we have liquefied cookie for dessert in a tube. And to wash it all down, you get to drink TANG, the orange-flavored sugar-powdered drink of astronauts with vitamin C. Is that all you have? Hey, listen! In the early days of the space program, we didn't know if astronauts could digest or even swallow anything when floating around in microgravity. You can't be too careful, huh? So what do you have? Galexie, please tell me they don't still eat that stuff.
Well, these days it's not as good as eating here on Earth, but it is much better than food paste in tubes. NASA is working very hard to cater to astronauts' taste buds. Missions on the International Space Station last for long periods of time. Astronauts will do extended stays on the Lunar Gateway and go even longer on the Mars missions. So it's certainly psychologically beneficial to offer foods and flavors that are preferred by each individual.
Oof! Oof! Woof! Woof! Fancy restaurant. Good evening, madame. Allow me to explain this evening's especials. The space station can hold over 200 food items, as you can see on our menu. Each item is, of course, dehydrated, which means we take out the liquid.
This ensures that bacteria does not grow in our food. When you are ready to eat, we simply place the package on the water dispenser to rehydrate. If needed, we can heat the item with a small food warmer. If you need salt, pepper, or other spices, they come in liquid form so as not to clog our air system.
Now, a very special menu this evening. We are offering a rehydrated and delectable shrimp and a special sauce, and a salad from our Space Station Garden Center, and then a hot cup of coffee with mocha flavoring. Wow, that sounds pretty good. Will there really be a garden in here? It's possible. Fresh food growth system will be included, where the gateway can offer pick-and-eat vegetables using hydroponic growth labs. Pollination, however, does not naturally occur because there are no bugs. Therefore, we move the pollen for them. Now, this will allow us to offer our astronauts crisp lettuces, spinach, herbs, tomatoes, carrots, bell peppers, and more. This will ensure that they have nutrition and variety. Mwah! Well, that sounds delicious. And for dessert, I'll have
Yogurt. I recommend yogurt and lots of it.
yogurt it is. Oh, can you make it snappy? I'm hungry. Indeed. Stop doing that! Ugh. So why yogurt?
While in space, astronauts' bones get weaker, which means they are more likely to have a bone fracture once they're back home. Yogurt has calcium, which helps keep bones strong.
Well, that's perfect. I love yogurt. So no more twirly thing, right? Whew.
I bet you also love pizza.
Are you kidding? I love pizza. Oh no. Galexie, no more twirly thing. It makes me nauseous.
Sorry, I'll just show you this time.
Thank you.
You get to eat pizza in space. These astronauts on the ISS prepared for movie night by creating their own pizzas using crumble-free crust and ingredients that stuck to the sauce.
And they have a little fun showing how objects have different motions, such as spinning before eating them.
Oh, how fun. Hey, you said movie night? So they do have free time for some fun.
Of course, just because there's not a lot of free time on the lunar surface doesn't mean you won't have some free time on the Gateway. You can read books, watch movies, play games. Some astronauts might bring a small musical instrument to play. The International Space Station has a guitar that stays on the premises for anyone to use. You can even enjoy video chats with your family and friends back on Earth. But one of the most popular pastimes of astronauts is simply looking out the window and watching the Earth spin beneath. Since the ISS is traveling in low Earth orbit at 17,100 miles per hour, they orbit the Earth every 90 minutes. That means they get to see a sunrise or sunset every 45 minutes. The Gateway will also have spectacular views as it orbits the moon. From Earth, we always only see one side of the moon. That's because the moon is tidally locked to the Earth, so it rotates in exactly the same time it takes to orbit the Earth. From the Gateway, you'll see so much more.
That is so cool!
But you must understand, you are required to go through a lot of steps before becoming a NASA astronaut. This involves extensive education and rigorous physical and mental training to make sure you are prepared to think and act under tremendous stress should you encounter difficult situations. And judging from how much the twirly thing bothered you, it may be a lot harder than you think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, silly. Don't you know that being a part of NASA extends far beyond astronauts? We need a huge team of people with many different talents and skills. There are multiple aspects of space exploration that are just as important. We need scientists, technologists, engineers, artists, mathematicians, and students. But to explore deep space and tell the story of this journey, we also need researchers, writers, graphic designers, medical doctors, government officials, pilots, and more. This is a chance for everyone, including students, to be a part of a very important challenge.
All right, I am ready for the moon, Mars, and beyond. Let's go.